It says we're live, so I hope the internet connection is going to hold up. Anybody who's watching it live can keep up. If not, it will record itself, and then it'll post to YouTube later. We've got a few minutes, so we're going to let everybody kind of slip in. It's still about 4 minutes till, and then we'll get started. Fresh coffee over there for anybody that wants some, freshly made. Kyle is our coffee making connoisseur, I guess you could say. Doesn't drink it, but makes a good cup.
Ooh, I bet it's strong.
That's the best. Is there another way to drink it?
Yeah.
Strong and black?
No.
Not the only way to drink it.
I like a little coffee with cream.
Yeah, you're like Morgan.
She likes milkshake. Guys at work used to take hot chocolate and put it in their coffee. Back when we had a community coffee pot, they put hot chocolate, creamer, sugar, and coffee.
How about that?
I can see.
Okay. It's not the
Oh, we got a couple of people joining in. I hope the stream is working, guys. I don't know if it is. Y'all can probably hear me.
I'll text
Charles. Yeah, see if it's working. I don't know who else is going to be watching it live, but we'll see. He's already got one of them, I think, but I'll give you another one just in case.
Yeah.
I don't care if it comes, I just need to know how many it's coming.
A couple of people in there. I'll tell you what, already impressed with the turnout. I'm glad you're
Charles is very appreciative that we're trying to do the stream too.
Yeah, I hope it works. You know, I mean, the internet, it is what it is. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So
We'll see what he says in a minute.
got a congregation of folks at the coffee pot. You might be making another coffee.
I'll put your cup out for how much to charge.
Hey, that orange thing is deceiving. That is not decaf.
We'll give another minute or two, and then we'll let everybody who's going to be here, I guess, trickle in. Make sure this door's unlocked for anybody that wants to.
It is.
I told her she forgot the wrong
Is that right?
Oh, I'm moving.
All right, I got a confirmation from the Benefields that they can see it, so that's good. I might scoot up and be a little closer to this microphone, see if that'll help.
Streaming is one growth.
Man, excellent. That is good. For those of you going to be watching online, we have a packet here that we're passing out. But this evening or tomorrow morning, I will send this packet out in email, so you can look at it PDF through an email. I'll send it in an attachment, and hopefully that'll answer you for any questions you may have that we don't answer just in the audio.
Josh, are you available for anybody to ask questions?
They could ask questions, but somebody would have to get on YouTube and keep up with it because I can only see my PowerPoint screen right here.
But if anybody needs to, they can text Kylie.
Yeah, okay, so if you need to ask questions, you can either text Kylie, you can send something to aboutantinfo@gmail.com, or you can comment in the YouTube, and I'll have people check it periodically. Okay. All right, we're about a minute after, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I really appreciate the turnout tonight. I'm very thankful that all of you chose to be here. I'll kind of give you the spiel of why we're doing this, and it may be new, and I don't know if Bowden has ever kind of followed a yearly theme, but this is something I've talked to the elders about almost every year since I've been here. And, we've never really gone through with it. It's kind of been like an idea, but we've never followed up the idea with action. And so when COVID hit and we all shut down and things were really moving slow, if you'll pass those out as people come in, that'd be great. I thought, man, everything that we intend has been upended. And every event we planned, every service, everything just changed. And it was like it changed overnight. And everything we had the intentions of doing were canceled. And so I started thinking about what we could do to try to remedy that once all of this was over. And this is what I've come up with. As you can see, I've kind of taglined this theme for next year. It's at the top of your page on the pamphlet I passed out, Renew. After the year that we've had, I think all of us are going to want some new, fresh renewal next year. And that's kind of what this is all about. What I did when I put this together was I looked at what I thought were the three areas we suffered from most during the coronavirus and looked at how we could revamp those areas in the coming year. And those three areas you're going to see here on the board are our worship. Now, conveniently, I'm a preacher, so I've alliterated it, okay? Worship, world reach, and well-being. What those stand for, basically, of course, worship is our worship. Our world reach is our evangelism, and the well-being is the edification of the church. And those are really the three pillars that hold the church up. And I wanted to go through and just intentionally try to say, next year, I want us to be purposeful about everything that we do, since we kind of lacked the opportunity to do anything with purpose this year. I wanted next year to be very intentionally planned out and everything we did to be focused in one area. And so that's what this whole theme for next year about is. It's all about renewal. There's a lot of things that are going to be mentioned in this proposal that are going to be new. Some things are going to be things we've done in the past. I do want to note there was a little confusion about this meeting. Everything that you see here in this pamphlet has been pre-approved by the elders. There's nothing in here that was not already run by them. They've approved everything that I'm about to talk to you about. And so this isn't like a spitball idea to give ideas to the elders. The leadership as a whole has come up with plans throughout this entire pandemic to try to be as careful as we can to make sure people are taken care of. And this is one of those plans that came out of the meetings that we have. Okay. So the next year is going to be focused on these three things: worship, world reach, and well-being. And you'll see in your pamphlet that each one of those has its own individual page. Okay. W1, W2, and W3. And so I'm just going to briefly go through these real quick and introduce some stuff that'll be brand new. Some of this you'll already know. And then kind of share with you some stuff that I'm going to need all of your help on. And then we'll spitball some ideas of what you might like to see next year. Things that you may have done in the past, things that you see on here that you would like to be tweaked. That's what this is. It's a planning session. It's us putting our minds together and basically dreaming of what next year could be if the Lord wills us to live. Okay, so point number one is the world reach. That's the first aspect in which I want us to be a little bit more particular about. And there's 6 areas in each one of these. The first one, many people have asked for this next year on Sunday nights, the second, or I can't remember what it's listed as, but a Sunday night, once a month, we're going to have a Q&A. I'm going to keep a box in the lobby. You can write Q&As, questions, concerns, passages you want to study, whatever. Drop them in the box, and every month, one Sunday night a month, we're going to have a Q&A where I answer whatever questions are put there in the lobby. And so that'll be one thing that we do different to maybe be a little bit more intentional in our Sunday evening worships. Of course, Fifth Sundays have been something we haven't been able to do this year. And so we're looking to next year, fifth Sundays be a day of, fellowship. We have in the past done church eat church is what we call it, but you do a service, a meal, and then a service. Granted, everything continues to go the way it is. That's the plan, to do all fifth Sundays that way. We'll talk more about that as that comes up. The Wednesday prayer service, everybody loves those. We're doing it again for Thanksgiving this year. When we did it the first time, man, it was just like glowing remarks of what people said they really enjoyed it. So we're doing that again this Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we'll do it again next year. We might throw a few more in there next year. Okay. The training night. One of the things you'll see as we go through this is that we're going to host a preacher's training class. And I'm basically going to teach a class on how to prepare a lesson. It's going to be short, a couple of weeks. And then every man that's in that class, we're going to have a Sunday night a month reserved for that gentleman or that young man to present his lesson on that Sunday night and for us to encourage him and give them the opportunities to serve and worship. So we'll be doing that next year. We're going to do something different on a Sunday night next year called a new song sermon. We're going to go through and we're going to look at a song that we sing in our songbook, and I'm going to basically go through and talk about the biblical principles in that song. Why do we sing it? What significance does it have? And I've kind of organized some of that with Phil and talked to him some, and me and Phil and a couple of other the song leaders are going to put that together so we can sing those songs, and when we sing them, maybe have a little bit more than just rote memory that brings them out. We get so used to the same songs, singing them all the time, that the rote memory of it, we forget what they say. And even we may not understand the significance behind a song. I mean, I don't know how many of us know what an Ebenezer is, but we always sing about "Here I Raise My Ebenezer," and we may not know what indication that's talking about in the Old Testament. What instance from the Old Testament is that talking about? So we'll do that once a month. And then the last thing in the worship section are Lord's Supper days. Now, I don't intend to say we're having Lord's Supper days as in we're only going to take the Lord's Supper twice a year. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that twice in 2021, we're going to have a day where the entire sermon focuses on the Lord's Supper. And then at the conclusion of that sermon, we'll partake of the Lord's Supper together. And then I'll deliver the invitation, and afterwards we'll do the giving. So the whole purpose of the sermon and that service is to focus our minds in on the Lord's Supper. Did those things because one of the things that we had to change so much was worship this year. So I wanted us to be very particular next year about the way that we did things, especially Sunday nights. Sunday nights can sometimes feel like they're the hamster on the wheel, and you just do it because that's normal and that's what you normally do. So I wanted to be a lot more intentional. Any questions about worship before we move on? This is the one I had the least comments about that I plan to go through. All right, let's go to the second page. Page number 2 is world reach. One of the things we have not in any way been able to do much of during this is evangelism. And as I've talked to people, that's one of the things that many of you have expressed you wish we did more of, was evangelism. A number of people told me that they wish they had more opportunities to be involved in evangelism. They don't really know how to get involved or what to do, and they would like systems to plug into in order to be more evangelistic. So we're going to try and do that better next year. The first thing is an evangelism class. We're going to host 2 evangelism classes throughout the year. And I've got a slide later in this PowerPoint where I'm going to talk about it in detail. But that class is going to be 10 weeks long during a weeknight. And I'm only going to take 8 students from the congregation into that. And the entire class is going to be focused on me helping you find a contact, set up a Bible with a contact, and then teach you how to study the Bible with them. And ultimately, that class should end up with 8 Bible studies, and I hope 8 conversions. That's the whole point of that class. It's going to be very particular. It's going to be very disciplined, and it's going to be one thing that you're going to have to really dedicate yourself to and commit to. So you'll hear more about that coming up. That'll happen twice next year where I take that class. It'll be an hour per night in the week, and you'll meet one night a week for 10 weeks in a row. And that'll be the extent of that class. Only 8 people are going to be allowed in that class because, I want those 8 people to be the 8 people that are always there and that we particularly work with, and we work on your contacts and all of that. Okay, we'll talk about that more in just a minute. One of the things that I have found out, and I've presented some of these numbers to the elders, is that over the years, I did one of these during the pandemic when it first kicked off, Facebook ads are outrageously successful in West Georgia. I don't know how many of you know that, but when we put stuff on Facebook, I very rarely promote it, but I have created a few videos where I've put them out there, And for instance, one video I put out, I paid $10 to promote that just in our immediate area. I spent $10 over a week-long period, and we had something over 1,000 people just visit our website. We had almost 30,000 hits on our Facebook page after that. People that clicked on it, people that liked it, people that shared it, people that clicked on the picture to see it, people that watched the video for more than 30 seconds. It was an outrageous number of contacts and feedback. Analytics came back. A lot of that had to do with personally, each one of you on your personal Facebook account sharing that video. But the $10 helped promote it to people in our area. In fact, I met a lady in Piggly Wiggly one day, and she said, I had a button-up shirt that said Bowden Church of Christ on it. She said, I saw an ad for y'all's church the other day when I was playing Bedazzled or Bejeweled, whatever that game is, on her phone. And the Facebook ad popped up, and it was a video explaining about the Bowden Church of Christ while she was playing a game on her phone. And so we're going to do that next year. We're going to create 4 videos, one per quarter next year, where we're going to answer hot button topics. You can see that in the description under that area on the W2 page. Things about like the existence of God, is the Bible true, things like that. So we're going to write, produce, and then put those videos out on Facebook and promote them monetarily that way. See if we can't build some contacts through that. Okay, a good majority of our society is going to be met on your phone. That's where everybody is. So we try to meet them there. All right, another one is that during the summer, we're going to spend a great deal of our energy just trying to reach the people that live within 1 mile of this building. Now, I say that not to say that the people that live outside of 1 mile of this building are any less important. But Jesus did tell the apostles that they would take the gospel to Jerusalem, then to Judea and Samaria, then unto the uttermost parts of the earth. And so I looked at that and I said, all right, well, let's go to Jerusalem. Let's hit the mile around our building and find the people right here that pass our building every day, that know about the Bowden congregation through contacts like you, who get the house-to-house, heart-to-heart publication, and through the entire summer, we're going to knock their door. The plan is 8 times. 8 times we're going to knock their door within the summer, 3 months. And I've got that outlined, and we're going to talk about that more when we get to the summer. But I'm going to kind of show some of that to you in just a moment. All right, we're going to do our regular card outreach. This is something we already do, but we're going to be a lot more particular next year about it and try to be very consistent with it, writing cards on Sunday nights, things like that. All right, the 4 outreach programs, we may let Kelly and Jerome talk about this a little bit later, but, Kelly and a lot of the ladies have designed these outreach programs to, target like the Pregnancy Resource Center in Carrollton. We reached out to our Memphis School of Preaching student, and we're taking up a gift for him now. Things like that. We're going to continue to do that. I think that is excellent. Everybody participating and helping one individual, I think, is a great way to be evangelistic, especially in the Pregnancy Resource Center. I love that idea. I think that's excellent. And so I may get them to talk about that in a few minutes when we finish the presentation. All right, the last one is Founders Day. We already do Founders Day. Couldn't do it this year because, what's going on. I hope and pray Founders Day is back next year, because we met a lot of contacts when we set up the tent at Founders Day and we talked to people as they passed around. It was really awesome. I enjoyed it. All right, any questions about evangelism? I'm going to open up the floor here in a little bit for everybody to kind of have some back and forth discussion. I'm just trying to speed through the presentation. All right, the last one is the well-being, and this is probably the one we'll spend the most time on as we talk about the rest of the plan, okay? The church needs to be healthy, and that, I think, is, blatantly obvious to us all the time, but especially now. So we're going to try to do that in a couple of ways. I've already mentioned the sermon preparation class. I believe in 2 Timothy 2:2. I'm going to put that passage on the screen here in a moment, that those of us who are spiritually mature should take the things that we know and train them to others so that they can teach other people also. That's what this sermon prep class is about. I want every individual, every man in this congregation to at least have the tools to stand before the congregation in the pulpit and present a lesson. And so we're going to go through that sermon prep class, and it's going to be on Sunday afternoon, similar to what we're doing now. Not going to take a whole lot of your time, but I want to give you some tools that might help you prepare lessons a little bit better. Titus chapter 2 days. We're in the midst of studying Titus chapter 2 right now. Older women teach the younger women. Older men teach the younger men. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have 2 days set up in 2021 where the older men take the younger men and we spend a Saturday going through mentorship type programs. We're going to do everything from teach them how to put together a devotional to how to do basic electrical and plumbing, how to change a tire and the oil on the car, we're going to teach them, how to sew on a button, all kinds of things that might not be something they want to learn, but I promise you as they get older, they're going to need to learn. And that's the whole purpose behind it, is to cultivate the Titus chapter 2 relationship. Same thing's going to happen with the young girls and the older women. We're going to get the older women to come together with them and teach them the skills that they need to know. We're going to sit down with the older women here before long and spitball some ideas on how to do that. Okay? What things we can and should be teaching our young kids. What I want to do with those is to meld these generations together, just like we've been talking about on Sunday mornings. To take the older generation and the younger generation and force them to spend time with one another so that they can build relationships and the church can be stronger. So we're going to have Titus 2 days in 2021. All right. A marriage class. If you look at the very last sheet in your presentation, it looks like this. I cannot even begin to tell you how many people ask for a marriage discussion class. And so I have not only decided that that's a great idea, but I've already put together the topics. All we have to do is pick a day and a set of dates. And we're going to knock this thing out of the park. We might start it before 2021. 8 topics. How to understand your spouse, how to put God in your relationship, how to communicate effectively, how to properly be intimate with one another, how to parent in your marriage, how to fight fairly, how to love your spouse the way they need to be loved with the love languages, and how to balance finances with one another. All of those classes are not meant for me to stand up here and lecture you. I'm going to give some basic principles about all of these topics, and then the floor is going to be opened up for discussion. That's the purpose of it. We're going to get together, and we're going to discuss in our marriages what we've learned and how we can help one another be better every day. So those 8 topics, don't shy away from any of them. They're all important. All right, the next one. Gospel meeting, we do this every year. Couldn't do it this year. Next year, a man by the name of Robert Hatfield has already been scheduled and agreed to do our gospel meeting. So he'll be doing that in 2021. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Lobby materials. I'll get to a slide about that in just a moment. You've got a whole sheet about that. We'll talk about it. Last one is our summer series. Last year, we went back to a winter lectureship. And, because of coronavirus, we didn't know how people would feel coming back into the winter of 2021 about being together in, that kind of format. And on top of that, to be honest with you, it was really poorly attended. And so we're trying to change it up and do something a little different that I hope will be more accessible for people to attend. So we're doing a summer series next year. Through the month of July, every Wednesday night, we're bringing in a guest speaker, and they're going to speak to us about a hot button topic. Those are outlined on a sheet of paper in your pamphlet. You can look at that in just a moment. Any questions about the edification or the well-being of the church? I know this is kind of like I've opened up the fire hydrant on you, but we're just going to try to do what we can to get our time squeezed in. And I really want this to be more of a planning discussion meeting. All right, you look at your next page on your pamphlet, your handout, you'll see the 1 mile summer. It's got the map of Bowden, and the circle represents 1 mile around the building, okay? During the summer of 2021, we're going to use a lot of ways to reach out. VBS, gospel meeting, summer series. We're going to do a prayer walk through the 1 mile radius. We're going to do a house-to-house, heart-to-heart survey. What that's going to be is we're going to get a new issue that's been mailed out. Then we're going to go door to door and say, hey, did you get this? Guess what? We're the ones that send it. We want to talk to you for a little bit. Because they may know that they get that publication, but they may not know where it's coming from. So we want to put a face with a publication. And we want to talk to them about what they read in it, if they like it, if they want to study the Bible more, okay? We're going to door knock for events. We're going to mail out flyers and articles and stuff like that to these people. We're going to send personalized cards to the positive contacts we make. We're going to keep up with all of those. And then we're going to make return visits with different individuals to everyone we meet within that 1 mile radius. And that's just kind of the quick, fast, and in a hurry version of that. Okay? The evangelism class. As I said, this is going to be an 8-week class that we're going to offer twice in 2021, or a 10-week class, sorry. 10-week class we're going to offer twice. and it's only going to have 8 students. I'm going to put up a sign-up sheet, and whoever signs up are going to be the ones, first come, first serve. But if you're going to sign up, make sure you're serious and you're committed, you want to do it, you're going to be there for all of them. We're going to have this evangelism class where we're going to successfully set up and conduct one Bible study. The church grows when we take our personal contacts, the people that trust us, and we begin to study the Bible with them. So that's the purpose of the evangelism class. We'll talk about denominational doctrines during this class. We'll talk about how to start the Bible study, how to build rapport with someone in the Bible study, how to use your words properly and not be sometimes like a preacher and talk way too much, how to learn when to talk and when to shut your mouth. We're going to talk about all of that I hope will be helpful in your evangelistic efforts. And again, that purpose is for you to set up a Bible study with someone you know and conduct it. And to get all the way through it, and hopefully they'll obey the gospel. Now, again, that should result, I hope, in 8 conversions here at Bowden. Over a year, 16 conversions. How would it feel if we looked back at 2021 and said, we had 16 baptisms in 2021 just from an evangelism standpoint alone? 16. If we get 10, that'd be a great feeling. To look back and say, we taught 10 people the gospel in 2021. That's a number you can really look at and you can tangibly grab onto. So we're going to do that evangelism class to try and reach out to our community. All right, the 1 Mile Summer, I already talked about it some, and you saw the pamphlet there just a moment ago. And the last one outside of the 1 Mile Summer is the prep class. It's going to be held on Sunday afternoons, 5 weeks long, all ages. I'll probably come to you men individually and tell you I want you to be there. And then if you're not there, I'll call you until you pick up. Because I want you to be a part of the class, okay? I want you to be there. I want you to help participate. Even if you already know how to put together a lesson, it's good for me to have help in teaching it. So you could be there to encourage, maybe, and you might learn a thing or two. I don't know. So 2 Timothy 2, 1 and 2, he says, my child, be strengthened by the grace that is in Christ Jesus, and what you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. Every individual that comes to this class, I want to be able to successfully present a gospel sermon. And that might be a daunting task to some, and to others that might say, well, I've done it a couple of times. Yeah, I would feel pretty comfortable. But nonetheless, I want you to have the tools to be able to prepare that and do that. So that'll be a sermon prep class that we'll do for that. All right, here's a fun one. This is one of your last sheets in the folder, the lobby materials. Here's one of the things that I want you to realize. Bowden is blessed with a ton of material. We have a library full of material. We have a resource room with an outrageous number of tracts. I have never been to a congregation that had as many tracts stored up as this congregation does. There are file folders that you pull them open, the drawer open, and it's like overflowing with tracts. See, we got a lot of resources, but would you be able to find them if I asked you to go find something? What I want us to do is to be able to find those without having to go look for them. So that's what we're going to do. You're going to see the illustration there on your sheet of paper. What we're going to do, now, of course, that back door now represents the bathroom, because that's, the last week they've opened it up for us. So you can just imagine that says bathroom. We're going to find and place materials in 4 places in the lobby. This is going to consist of some additional track racks, some floating shelves or some kind of shelving unit. It's going to consist of us hanging up those shelves to put books and Bibles and articles and all kinds of stuff. Every time we get a new house-to-house, heart-to-heart article publication, that publication is going to be displayed in clear plastic display like folders that you screw onto the wall. So you can walk up to the wall and look and say, that article sounds pretty good. I didn't realize that was in the new house-to-house. I can reach down on the table and pick it up and take it with me. If a visitor comes, you want to know what? They want to know about evangelism? There's going to be a whole wall full of Back to the Bible booklets, Bibles, Muscle and a Shovel, tracts, everything you could need to do some evangelistic work or be encouraged about evangelism is going to be on that wall. So you got a question about apologetics. Well, does God exist? How would I answer an alleged discrepancy in the Bible? How would I address that? Well, Look over here. There's an evangelism section. Oh, well, there's an Eric Lyons book about how to answer these questions about the Bible. Yeah, I'm going to pick that up and take that with me and read it. We want the materials that are here, that are accessible to people, to be accessible to people. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and make that accessible to others. Women, if you're interested and you think you've got like an eye for design, I don't want this to look like a man put it up, okay? I want this to be appealing to the eye. I want people to come in and be able to easily find what's on the wall, grab the material, and then we can go back and replace what they've grabbed, and it's available to people. Okay, so if you think you've got an eye for that, come talk to me. I'm going to be, we're going to kind of be curating a couple of women to put this together and make it look less like a barbarian put it up. Okay, so we're going to do that. Evangelism, apologetics. We're going to have a section for the home and the family, and we're going to have a section for just biblical doctrines and Bible questions. Okay. Finally is the marriage class. I already discussed it, the flyer there. We're going to have this marriage class where we're going to encourage, teach, and support one another. Okay, you can see that flyer with that information on it, a marriage class. Okay? The last one is a sheet that's in your pamphlet. It's the summer series. In place of the winter lectureship, we're organizing this. We're going to be talking about issues that Christians are facing today. All the topics that are going to be addressed are outlined on that page in your pamphlet, the summer series page. So we're going to get some local guys. One of those Wednesday nights is going to be our gospel meeting with Robert Hatfield. We're going to talk about things like, how can I know that God exists? How do I fight against the world redefining the home? How do I deal with things like modesty or the world trying to break into my home with entertainment? How do I address those things, and how do I properly deal with it? We're going to bring in guys to talk about those issues. Fourth grade and up is going to meet in there with us. And then everybody else will go to their regular classes on those Wednesday nights. I know that was a lot, but I got it in under 30 minutes. That 30 minutes is about a preacher's time, right? Maybe not for me. All right. So, yeah, watch it out. Watch out, Mr. Gerald. Okay. That's what I have prepared for you. I want you to tell me, what do you think about this? How do you think we could do some things different? What things would you like to see that we have done in the past you might like us to bring back? What things do you think we could do this next year to be more intentional and more determined to make sure that Bowden grows? Presentation was that good, huh?
Josh,
Yes, sir.
there wasn't anything that jumped out at me as far as getting our youth involved in all of this, because I think it's important that they're involved, because they start now, they're way ahead of most of us.
Yeah.
Another thing is on the lobby material.
Yeah.
For a wind team in Florida, they have CDs that have different subjects on them, just like the track.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times you'll put something in that CD player and listen to it, or it might not make the track.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great idea.
And we're looking at going down in a couple of weeks, and I'll try to scope the wall and see what all subjects and stuff.
Yeah, it's a great idea. DVDs, CDs. Anytime we have a guy come in and do a special lesson, Jerome is really talented at putting them stickers on that CD and making it look good and copying them CDs. We can put those up on the wall, okay? We're about to start putting our sermons all on Apple, Spotify, and some of the other podcasting platforms, so you can listen to sermons in your car if you want to. We're going to be creating material through video to put out on YouTube, some study material and stuff like that. I got plans like that for 2021. So we're going to try and provide stuff like that, but having DVDs and CDs is an excellent idea. That's something we need to do because we've already got the materials here to make it. All we have to do is put it together, burn it, and set it out there. So that's a great idea. Okay? Yes, sir.
April's car's got a cassette deck. Can we do that?
You'll have to talk to Jerome. Yeah. He probably still has the equipment to take care of it. All right, so we wanna make sure that we're intentional about involving our youth. That's a big thing we want to do. We talked about that today during the adult Bible class, actually. So we can talk some more about that. The CD's in the lobby. What else, or any comments about either one of those? Yes, sir.
What about singing nights?
Yeah, I have that question too.
Yeah, so the Sunday nights are going to be laid out in such a way. I'll have to look back at the worship section. So yeah, the Q&A. So the first Sunday night will be the singing night. That'll still happen, right? We're not going to change that. It's the second, third, and fourth Sunday night that are going to be planned out. So the second Sunday night is the Q&A. The third Sunday night is going to be where we learn the new song and we teach through it. And so I'll teach like a verse of the song, and then Phil will get up and lead that verse. Then I'll teach the next verse, and he'll get up and lead it. That's how that's going to work. And then the fourth Sunday night is going to be reserved for those men that go through the preacher's training class. And if we don't have anybody, like the first of the year, I'm just going to preach a regular sermon on that night, just a random topical or textual sermon. So the first Sunday night will still be singing night. Okay.
The singing night,
Mm-hmm.
I would like for us to sing some different songs that we don't normally sing on that night, learn some new songs or whatever, instead of singing the same ones every Sunday night.
Yeah.
Every singing night. or
Yeah. That's an excellent idea. So maybe have a section during our singing night where we learn some new songs, some songs we don't all know. Okay. Yes.
We were talking about this in the teens class. It's
Yeah.
like, teaching like a basic music lesson class. Like we teach what notes are and how to read rhythm and stuff like that. Just like a basic general knowledge to where if you want to know how to sing or how to sing correctly or whatever, that you actually have the knowledge to go and like look at the songbook and be like, okay, I can kind of get through this and learn it before I go and sing it in front of the congregation.
Yeah, man, that's an excellent idea. I think that would be an awesome tool for people to have. And we've got a lot of very musically inclined people in this congregation that could teach something like that, that could prepare us to maybe try and learn some of that, the different aspects of the musical nature of the songs. Okay, I like that. All right, what else?
I know I have seen at some of the Christian bookstores materials for children. There are little workbooks that they can do that are more like tract size. So something that possibly we could grab for a kid before worship starts. And then they can be doing whatever that. I know that you did the sermon worksheets for
Yeah.
a little while. I think
So like a kid's bulletin, kind of.
yeah, something that they can do
Yeah.
as they're listening to kind of keep their attention focused.
That would be an easy thing we could start providing quickly. We did that for a little while, didn't we? Didn't we do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What else? That's a great idea.
What about how to take notes? Because sometimes, you're going through a sermon and you go, oh, that's a good idea, and you try to write it down, and maybe a way to take notes there.
Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am.
At one time, Sandra Harrington and I did and it turned out to be a one-time thing, a cooking class for young people.
Yeah.
And when I get out from, my mother's going through a hard time right now,
Mm-hmm.
but there will come a time when that will ease up.
Yeah.
And I would like for us to go, I'd like Steve and Sandra to come be over there.
Yeah.
And let them come early.
Yeah.
The kids that came that day seemed to have a blast.
Yeah.
And I think that in that can be incorporated things to be done at home. Like my thinking is, and it doesn't have to just be girls in the cooking class, but a portion of it maybe could be tuned into the idea of the older women teaching the younger women. Saying I'm not an older woman, but I am.
I'm getting there fast.
She married an old man.
Oh, now, things in the home like that.
Yeah.
You know, preparing food for their family is a real big deal, if I remember Proverbs 31 correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I'd like to go back to doing for the young people as soon as I can get we're still in process to get everything worked out with
Yeah.
so it'd be
That's an excellent idea. I think that would fit really well into those Titus 2 days. That would be a great thing to teach. I think that would fit really well into the Titus chapter 2 days. You know, like we mentioned earlier, I think that would be a great avenue to teach young kids that kind of skill, and then just get to spend time with them, you know, because you got knowledge they need. Yeah.
Some of those meals that they make could actually be delivered to our shut-ins.
So that was the next, that was the next way I was going to go with that. You read my mind, because that would be not only a great outreach to those that might be shut in, but a great way to teach as well. So yeah, that's a great.
That could be the youth group also.
Yeah.
That was another thing that we had in the back of our mind then, maybe training that this is something you can do with them.
Yeah.
You're sick, not just your family, but reaching out to people.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea. I like that.
Since we're looking to convert more, I would like to have like a new converts banquet.
Oh
And then also
yeah.
maybe a golden age banquet where if you don't have a grandparent here, stop it. If you don't have a grandparent here, somebody can adopt you from the youth group, and it can be put on by the youth group. We used to do that as roommates when I was much younger. It always went over really well. Some of the older people liked being taken care of by the younger people.
I know we've been spitballing some ideas about stuff like that, but I like that, the new converts banquet as well. We've been talking about maybe doing a teacher's appreciation kind of thing for all of our teachers. And so having something for our new converts, and then having some way for the older people to be served by the younger people would be an excellent, like maybe Valentine's time of the year kind of thing, like a sweethearts banquet. Did y'all used to do that?
We did a Valentine's banquet.
We used to do that, and then there for 5-6 years, we all started going to the marriage retreat in Pigeon Forge.
Oh yeah, so that kind of was
So
that
that
time there. Okay.
Because the men cooked for the ladies.
Yeah, that sounds excellent.
We had hot dogs.
We could even have.
We did not.
Boiled hot dogs
No.
and hot dog water
We
gravy.
can call it Valentine's Day, just not do it Valentine's.
Yeah, man, that's an excellent idea.
Philip chocolate salad.
No, Ken did.
Okay.
Ken did.
All right, what else do we got? Got a few more minutes, maybe about 11, 12 minutes before we need to slip into the auditorium. Yes.
Kind of along the lines of what Ms. Hughes was saying for the Titus 2 days. I mean, let's make sure to not make gender specific. I mean, don't you know how to change a tire?
Oh, yeah.
Plumbing too.
Yeah. So that was one of the things. Yeah, that was one of the things we talked about, because we're going to do those twice. So we talked about taking them and sending the boys with the men and the girls with the older ladies, and then the next time switching them and having the men learn, the young boys learn how to make communion bread and, all kinds of fun stuff, Maybe post enough pandemic, we could eat the communion bread that they make, That would, yeah. Yeah.
Josh, when you're in camp, we did something very similar to that.
Yeah.
We did the camp activity. We did the boys, they had of course, we had the station, we changed it, checked oil, checked transmission fluid, changed the tire, do things like that. And we did that, and then we had a station where they actually sewed a button on the shirt, done a few things like that.
Yeah.
And then switched the boys and girls around in those activities. And that was pretty popular.
Yeah. I think it would be, we want to teach our young people some skills. We want them to know how to do certain things, but we also want them to learn that from our older members too. We want that connection to be built there. Okay? Yes, sir.
As time goes on and like new technologies introduced and everything, there also could be like the youth helping the older generation of like learning new how technology, learning how to do this, or
Yeah.
sitting out like getting the notifications from the messages and stuff.
Yeah.
Doing that kind of stuff.
That would be an excellent thing to do.
Maybe that's a good idea. I'm gonna get to the phone before I die.
Yeah.
Put it on the bucket list.
Get rid of your rubber dog.
Robert, cell phones, tell them right.
All right, what else? That's a great idea, Bailey. I like that.
I do too.
Yes, ma'am, Miss April.
I've been doing a Bible marking series that I found.
Yeah.
I think that would be an excellent way to teach the young students at least, maybe some of the older ones, how to do topical studies in the Bible.
Okay. Okay. That's an excellent idea. What else you got?
Well, I can take the young girls, anytime they want to go up my shop, I can teach them how to use a skill saw, I can teach them how to use a jigsaw,
That's good.
table saw,
Yeah.
how to drill a hole in something, any of them that.
You know, I bet all them young girls would love to know how to cut out a perfect circle and how to put a bow on top of it. Morgan loves that stuff, putting the bow on top of it and then hanging it on the front door. That'd be a great project. And then you could paint somebody's name on it that might be shown in the Nolans. I mean, throw that on there and take that to Bill and Billy. They would be super. They would love that. I think that's a great idea.
A lot of women in my old church, they used to do things like that. They'd get together and they kind of like the craft night series stuff.
Yeah.
Is one time they all got together and they cut out the perfect circles and they made things for like their husbands or for holiday decorations for the doors or for the outside. They also made a lot of like little coasters and stuff to send to people or stuff like that. Just little small things that are dealing with the church and with the church people.
Yeah. That's really cool. I think that's a great idea. That'd be a great way. That'd be a good Titus 2 day. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else about any of these other topics? Worship. Any ideas about things we've done in the past you'd like to do again? Evangelism. Things you've seen other places. Or edification. Keeping the saved. Still got a few minutes. Okay. Well, that's the plan for next year. I hope it'll benefit this congregation. I hope we'll all buy, fully into it and work the plan, and the plan will work. And hopefully we'll have a lot more evangelism contacts next year. And to say that we need a plan for next year is not to say that we haven't done good in the past either. But we can always, every year, improve. Every congregation can improve every year. If you gave the congregation of Bowden in the 80s a view into what it was like today, they'd probably think it was weird with the masks, but they would probably be impressed at where Bowden is today. It's because Bowden has improved every year since then. And we can keep doing that every year, getting better and better. Any other thoughts or comments? All right, thank y'all for, yes.
Well, when you see that we came from a building about the size of this fellowship hall. To one that keeps growing.
Yeah.
And we were not going to grow where we're at. We couldn't grow.
Yeah.
We were just boxed in and one little thing led to another. And we're, things have changed a lot.
Yeah. It's because everybody set their mind to it and they kept working hard every day, pushing forward. Every time the church works together, everybody together, the church grows. That's the way it works. It's the promise of God. All right. Thank y'all for your attention. We'll go ahead and let y'all cruise on out into the auditorium. Thank you for whoever was online for watching. We'll see how many people stuck around. We got 3 that stuck around. Jamie Williams. All right, the Moores are here. Cool. Thank y'all.